Okay, so in today's class, I'm going to design a landing page. So to do that, you go to Flux. I already written it down. You go to Flux. When you get to Flux, you just click on this demo over here. So when you click on that demo, and it brings you down to this. You can just scroll down to a particular model that we want to, a particular design that we want to replicate or model. So we'll be designing this construction site over here. So you just click on this. When you click on that, so we are going to look at how the design is being made, so that we too also can do the same, exact the same thing. So this is what we are going to be talking about. So we start with this header section over here first. This link, this logo over here. So let's go to your Figma account. So this is what we did. We had that dashboard that I told us about. So I believe we've gone through the video on how to make dashboard, HR dashboard. So just go through that video because I might delete it at any moment because the platform we are using, the site is getting full. Like our videos on it is almost getting, so I'm hoping to do that. So what we'll now do now is to create another new page. Like I said, this for the dashboard, so we are done with the dashboard. Let's go through the video. So I'll click on to create another new page, just click on this plus sign. So when you do that, we have another page called page 7. So you can name that page landing page or website. Sorry for any background noise. In a place where maybe I should call them youth. I'm your children. Unless you're teenagers, sorry for that, teenagers. They're having some fun.
There's no problem.
Alright, so we go to the first one would be just click on your tree to the type test. Then you have your home. That's what you're going to start with first. So you have home. And that home will give you the size of 14. So let's quickly do that. I always believe that we go fast with our lesson. So this is 14. And you give it the typography style, you give it real big. So you can give it any font style of your own. So we have that. Let me zoom this so that I see it. So we have this over here. Then we add an auto layout on it. We just do a shift A on that. Then the padding should be 8. Come over here for the padding. So the padding now should be for everything. We just do the padding 8 left and right. Also 8 top and bottom. Then what next we do, you make it to the center with the text is already at center. Then you rename it. Let's rename this home link. This home let's just call it home link. Yeah, I can give it any name. And the color should be white. Is the color of that particular layout white. So later we'll still remove it. I'll tell us the reason why we are going to. So we have that. So with this now, let's check if because we want to use this home link to create the other links like about projects and so on. So let's check so that we can. So this let's check if it is in auto hide or home entrance. It is an all content is fine. The next thing to do now is to create another auto layout on this. So this should say. Then this one inside. This is the first one that we first created. This is the home link. Or you can just say home. Let's say home. Call it home. Home is okay. Because this home here is inside this frame. You can now call this frame the home link itself. Or just call it link. Just call it link. So in this home now, I'll use it to generate orders by duplicating it. Control D, Control D, Control D. So let me check if the direction to the horizontal. Check if that is responsive to the horizontal direction, which is not. So that means I'll go back and set this to this is so that means this should be also the org content. Then the home inside also should be org content. So let's check now if that will be fine now. I have my control D. Let me just check with this solid tool. The direction should be with me it is. Although I'm getting closer, it's not yet. But this link should contain everything to the horizontal. So let's go back to check after fix that. So this is org, and this is also org. Let's check this one to see container and see what happens. And go back to this. Set it to this. Let me take it back. Although we can just do with that steps. I don't want us to go through that process. So this, let's take this one back to free containers. Let's select this. D, select this one. Okay. So this is what we are going to do then. This is not. So we are going to select this one over here. Select this link, the home, and go to your org content. Then this also, which is the condition the org content. I will check now. Select the home, hit it, and the links from there. So we have this over here. So we have this then. So let's call this one. Let's call it about. And let's call this one page. Sorry, project. Let's call this one project. Let's duplicate this that we can have for others. Control D, Control D. So this one, let's call this one blog. Call this one blog. Then call this one contact. Contact us. Let's say contact. Let me reduce the changes. So we have this one. So the color of the link, you can also leave it like this, or we give it a white color also. Now the padding should be 0 padding. The padding of this link over here. Let's come over here. Let that padding should be 0. So we have 0 here. We also have 0 here. Like I said, the color, you can give it that color white also. Also say your field and give it white. So we have that. So we have been able to create this image over here, which is what we have. If you look at this sample we have followed, which is what we have there. So it's remaining this text button over here. So like I say, I'll tell you why we're going to remove that white background from it. Or you can see there's nothing like white. Let's quickly go back to this place. So this, I'm going to bring in that search icon to this side now. But before that, let us remove that white background. Just come over here. Just this, I look like minus is removed. Just click on it. Move it. Also for each of the link, I just select everything and also remove that color white over there. And the main text, I just make the main text to be, I make the main text inside to be white. Just do everything at once. Then come over here and make it white. Let's go back. Okay, so let's set this, remove this, and make it white. The opacity, take it back to 100. Sorry, something else not wrong with that there. Let's check that. Okay, so the test, let's use the test like so. And later when we bring it to our layout grid, be able to know what's wrong. Okay, I think this is, so just drag it up. Okay, so we have this, it is white. So this test is white now, though we can't see it. I'll just leave it like this. It's already white over here. But for that, let me just make this to be blue. For now, that link to be blue. For the sake of what we are doing. So I'll just come to this view, click on this, and use the color style we have before, and make that blue at first. And later we are going to remove that blue. So we have this. So the next thing to do is go to our material design, go to search for that icon, the search icon, and you do the size of that search icon to 18 by 18 like what we normally do. So I'll go back. Don't comment, you can just go back there. So it's still coming up. So we'll set it to 18, search for search. So we have search. Just bring anyone, bring this one and this one actually. But what you are designing should be exactly like what you, so here we have the search button over here. In that video, that we made for that dashboard, I really said a lot about this icon, and you always delete the frame that comes with that search icon. So always be left with or you should leave only the vector only. Because in the vectors are being created inside the frame. To delete the frame and bring out the vector. So this vector make it to be 18 by 8. So you can just hold it and drag it. From here you can drag from the layer tree like this by holding this and drag it here. This is what you can see here. Or you can drag from the canvas, just drag it. But we want this edge bar to be at this left, at this right side. So you just hold it from here and drag it down to this place. So it stays somewhere here. As you can see, it's not coming through. It's outside of that. So I'll just come here. See that is not working from the canvas. Just come here, you drag it down. Let me do this one. So you can see it's out of this link. So I'll just hold it, drag it inside. Like I have something like this. I'll also bring it down with the tool. Or you can just drag this here this side. So we have this over here. So this one over here now, what we can do now is so what we're going to do to this now is to give it the color of white also. Select it and give it a color of white. Let's select that again. So we have been able to create this over here. So the next thing we are going to do now is to give the space between I think this search icon is inside the contact itself. It's inside the contact. So we don't want it to be in the contact. We want it to be actually inside the the link itself. So let me quickly control key on that so that okay, so it's inside that link now. So I'll just come here and then my link now will be set it to the center so that it can be at the center. You can see that the center. Let me just browse this to complete that. So it's not inside, it's staying alone now, inside the link, not inside the content. So the padding space, the gap space for that, I'll set to 16. So come over here, set that to 16. So we have that. This is like so because this link should be all content so I can org everything. Let me check that. It is set to it should be org. So as you can see, everything is inside that. So we have that. So what we are going to do next now is to bring the logo. So let's just check for a floater wave logo. That I'm going to close this and go to Flash. So I'll look for a floater wave logo and place it beside this link over here. So it's coming up. So what we're going to do now is get that logo. We are going to set the size of that logo to 40 by 40, and then also the space between this link and that logo will make it to be around 64. It takes time to come up. Okay. Alright, sorry, it's not on Flash. I made a mistake for that. On Flash is for images. You go to brand fish, sorry. Brand fish, that's where we go to. If I watch that video, you notice that what we use is brand fish. That video on about HR desktop. Sorry, HR dashboard system. Talk about brand fish. So with brown fish, you can use brown fish to get any logo of any company. I mean, if such company is registered, you're able to get the logo such in the world, any logo of any company you want. So here we have Flutter. I'm using Flutter for now. Flutter with. So this page, just click on it to see its variants, different variants of that. So let's use this variants. Let's use this particular. Or let's use something like this. Let me check it out. Okay, let's use this. Let's bring this one out. Sorry, staying on my. I don't know to stay on that. Okay. So I can click this. So this, just bring it over here, somewhere here. So the type of photo I really want is not this particular type, but since I got this one out, I'll just give it a size of, let me just check. It can be 40 by 40 now because this is a kind of horizontal logo. So let me just set maybe, or we can leave this as it is like this. I think it's okay like this. So the next thing we need to do now is to click on this link and select everything together. Then add an auto layout on that. So we have this. And it's, like I said, the space here is the gap space will be 64. It's 64. So that we can have that. Now let's check if this and rather than auto layout, I mean the frame on it, auto layout. So we can rename the auto layout to let's say header. Let's check if that is responsive. You can see that our header is not responsive. So the next thing we need to do to all we need to do now is that we are going to set this link over here. This is the link. This link we set that one to be in the free container. Let's go back to the header and check if it is responsive. So it's not yet responsive. So go back. So all we just do is that on that link, on this link over here, we create an auto layout on it first. Let me zoom so that we can see proper. So we create auto layout. Do that again. Go to click on that link only. Create auto layout on it. So when you are done with that, auto layout have been created on it. So when you are done with that, you make sure that that auto layout is set to 0, which is what we want. Set to 0. That's if you look at it, you cannot notice it because adding of that new auto layout on this link is this remote on this link is the pattern is set to 0. So what we are going to do is that this auto layout that we just added now, set that one to the right. That should always be at the right of that header container. So when that is done, I'm sorry, we set, let me take you on to it. So you set that link. It is that link that you set that link to be the, sorry, let me check, I think that's the layout as well. Select the link again, put an auto layout on it, erase it. So now select that link, set it to be at the right. Be at the right of this auto layout we just added. So set it to the right. And the next thing you need to do now is to set the padding to 0 as what we have done now. Then set this, still on this link, set it to be at free container. I think it's on free container already, it's fine. Now select that new auto layout now. This, set that one also to free container. So this one is filling the container of the header now. This link that will set to free container, fill the container of remote. So this remote that wants to set to free container will now be a free container to the header. So select it to free container. So let's now check now if the header is responsive. Select the header, let's check if it's responsive. As you can see, it's responsive. Sorry, let me bring this back. I just want you to see the process of what we are doing. So you go back to the header. So you can see that it's responsive. I'm able to drag. So let's give this padding now. The spacing, this 5 button is too close to that, to this line over here. I'll just give it the padding of left and right, maybe 16, or let's say 12. So I have that. So that this color, you can, this blue is not to this side, so this blue color is only for that link, not for the header. So I can just leave it like this. So I'll still remove also this one, this blue color right. So what I need to do now is to make this header now a component. Just put it come up over here. So already I have this. So you can set this to space it up here. Let's do this one. You can just set it. Okay, so we are done with this first section to the header. The next thing we need to do now is to, let's check what we need to do next. The next thing we need to do now is to create that innovation constructor. This one, this innovation constructor. This is very simple. So your, sorry, go back to your Figma file, then hit your T and type. So then what we are going to do now is very fast. We just test. We just do Okay, so just type innovation. Everything is small letter. Check the first letter. Innovation. So we have that. So you can set this to the size of that innovation. Set it to a size of 64. Make it bigger. Or let's say 96. 96 will be fine. 96 is fine. You can make it bold. From regular, make it bold. Then what else? Also make the color white because actually a white color. Go to your style library. If you have the white, so you just make it white. So we have that. Like I said, you may not see some of all these things. Just leaving this blue like this, we see remove that also. Let's keep this one as white. Then what else? Now what we need to do now is to add an auto layout on this innovation by doing shift A. Then when that is done, what you need to do now to now configure. I don't want to say that anytime you add an auto layout, think of what you can think of how to configure that auto layout, which is very important. Because you're configuring the auto layout is what will make your design to be responsive. So don't just add an auto layout and just leave it like that. If you do that, your your design pattern will not be responsive. So anytime you add auto layouts to any element, just make sure of what you can do to the auto layout. It is how to configure it. So what I'm going to do now, I want this innovation to always stay at the left. Always stay at the left of this web page over here. This hero section over here. So when we added that auto layout, you just come over to this place, set the, and see all these are the area for where you can configure your auto layout. So we set that auto layout, set it the pattern of 0 set. Don't want anything. And the next thing to do is to set it to the left. From center, let it be at the left. Not to always be at the left. Then you can rename this auto layout now to, I just say INNO, short form for innovation. Then you can set the text itself inside that auto layout. Just select the text and select from here. Set that text to fill container. For responsiveness, select to remove now, you see that it's responsive. See that it's responsive. So you are diagnostic that. Then the next thing to do is to do for the constructor. We have constructor. If you check, let me bring this here. If you check what we have here, we have constructor. We have a kind of line beside it. So this one, we don't want it to be the same size and the same like thickness of this, like this innovation. So what we do, we reduce the size to, let's say 64. Use the size to 64. Then remove it from bold to regular. Let it stay as regular. So we have that. Then the color also should be white. So just go to your file library, give it that white, which what we have here. So I believe you can see those tests. And then the next thing to do now is also to add an auto layout on this. Just do your shift A and see what you can how to configure that. So we want this also to be at the left. So you come here, set it to be at the left alignment. This one over here to be at the left, align it to the left. So we are done with that. Now what about the line? How do you come about that line? To come about that line, just go to your pen tool. This is your pen tool over here. This is for not the pencil, just select it and hold it down to make a straight line. Make sure that that line is straight. Make sure it's straight. If it is not straight, and I can see in our previous video when we started, I said that it's still like sticky to the canvas. So to escape, to make that to grey, just hit your escape key on your keyboard so that the When you select this side, you click on that particular area that you want, then where you want it to stay, and then where you are taking that line to, also click on that side. So you have that. So you can just, or you just want to leave that point to press your escape key, then close, and you can change back your is to move to remove to, or you just hit V. So we have that. So this one line is like a stroke. In case maybe your own line is not straight, this is what you just need to do. Let me quickly tell us that it's not part of what I want to show, but let me just, in case your line is not straight, so what you need to do is just to go to, let me just hit this over here, select any. What you need to go to is just to go to this rotation, where is it? Okay, this is going to go to this rotation and make it to be at 0. Which make it safe. I should change it to maybe 5 so that it's somehow bent. It's somehow bent. So just set it to 0 to make it straight. So this is like a stroke, like I said. So just increase the weight to maybe 5. So that you can have exactly that line. This kind of line is, like I can see this line is like fat. It's not standing like that. So that's why we need that weight to be like 5. You can make it 6 or 7. And the color over there is yellow. So you can just click on this plus sign over here. You can also give it a linear color. You can make it a linear color of like 2 color type pattern and so on. So you just make it a yellow color. It's a yellow color. We have just close this section. Now this line now that we have here, we want it to stay at the left of this frame over here. So let's quickly rename this also. So name it to sorry, it's the frame I want to rename it to construction. Just say const. We want this line to always stay inside this constructor. So what to do, like I said, you can drag from your canvas setting or from your layer tree right. Just bring it inside. So we have this. The next thing that we need to do now is that we want this, we want so many, okay, let's give the gap space now between the line and the text. Let's say the space to maybe 15. So we have that. And the next thing now is that we want only this left padding of this layout frame that we have named as const. We want it to be like 64. So we can have space. Let me do that so I will explain it that. So just click on this place to select only the left order be at here. So let the left side be at maybe 64. So you can see what I'm trying to do. So we have this line to the edge of this course. To this, we have the dash spaces. So you can see here that have a kind of, okay, you don't have any space here. You don't have any space. I thought you have space there. I want to do like so. This one over there, bring it here. This way. So we have that to do to build out this load to bring this and try or we do our best our Lawrence to see to that. So we are signing off with this section. So the Lawrence icon is coming up. So I can just give it the read from dummy words for us to use. I think we have some words over here. Something like this. Let me check if I can copy this. Okay, let me just over to this. Alright, so let's maybe generate like 50 words or 52 words, right? Let's say generate. So that has been generated. So let me just bring it. It's because I said this size was 64, so it's still retaining the size of what I did earlier. Let's make it maybe 14 or 12. Let's say 14. So we have this, and then let's break it down. Let's bring and just break it down into. Yes, I think there's a results to this story. Oh, this also now is that this test that we're asking us means to all set all out context. The importance of auto layout, using auto layout always. You can just rename it as, let us just say test. Just say test. Then let's say the padding. We don't want any padding to just set it to maybe 20 to 10. So we have that. And the next thing that we need to do is to make it to be, select the text again, inside that set it to few container. So now we want to use it on a small device. That text can proceed on that small. So we have this over. So I think it's okay like this. And also set it to white. So the text needs to be also white. So we have this. Okay, we cannot see, well, let me see leave it as black. So that also go with it, so I'll just leave it as black. Then I'll go to that one. I will not create that button now because we have some buttons I've already and I already make a component where I mean everything on the either the tablet, the text or the mobile. I'll just go to my assets and bring that and select that button. I've created some component button before. So then just because of time we are just going to create that. Those as we have already. The next will do now like this section. Right. How do you come about that section? That's what I can do. All this on right. I will do one section. So let me just do it. Alright, so we are not yet done with this. But this is what I will do. Let me bring that button at once. Let me bring the button at once. Sorry for that. So that I need to group everything and make them just only one component. I need to group everything as like this and make them one component. So that, and I want to do that button together with it also. I'll just do and just expand that and see where I have button. I have button on page one. I'll just bring any button out. So I have this space over here. So what I would just do is for me to do this. What you just do now, just change the what's it called, the color of this to yellow. I think we have yellow on that design. That's like you're trying to replicate yellow color. I'll just set that to yellow, select the button. Let me check. So select it. Just select it yellow. I think this yellow, just any shade of yellow, sake of all then color can make color black. Make it black, just come over here, click on this, black. Then as you bring it, see that the button is responsive container. I can just remove, but I'll reduce that side, so that that is too big. Like I say, let me close this. So the side I can still give, I should be maybe 5%. How to do small extra maybe. So I think this is okay. Trying to reduce the height of the so reduce the limited to maybe 40. Say this we have this. So the next thing to do now is to select everything. Just select everything now and make all of them another auto layout on them. Like auto layout and the address object. So what I need to do now is to check if it is responsive. As you can see, if it is not responsive, what I need to do is to set this one should be at the left. Should be at the left. So let me check what is happening there. Should be at the left. So let's set it to the left. That's what I want. Then if it's not responsive, we check that it's responsive. So select the ino now. Let me go back to that file and see what we're getting. Select the ino now and set it to fill container. Fill container and all. They are what make your they are what are the terms, or let me say that they are what you can use for any of the elements to be responsive. So but fill container always make your elements to be responsive. So that is responsive. Click on your cost also and also set it to fill container. I think this one's already on fill container. Yes, fine. Yeah, the button. So now just need to wait. I can just say fist. It's okay if you wear it, place it this way. So let's go back to that French thing, which is carrying everything now. Let's go back to that. I can quickly rename it to, let's say, um, what shall we say? Okay, let's say web left context, something like that. Let's see if it's responsive. So it's not yet responsive. The reason because I think the test, we didn't test that construction test, not the frame now, the test to fill container. So you set to fill container. Let's go back to this. Because everything is responsive. Then the space between the okay, actually I will just do this place so I can set the space to be equal. Okay. In case you are doing what, select this innovation and this construction and let the space equal. And then this innovation and construction, add an auto layout on them and let the space be closed. So that the space here is closed. So select, let me quickly check if I can use that. Let me just control this, everything else. Okay, to remove that frame shift. So I'll select this and this is Just select that email and that post and add auto layout on it and give that get that space in the cell. So which is that. And also you can give the padding, no padding on that post. So let's check it without padding. So the padding wants to be 0, the padding bottom also wants it to be 0. So everything will look close. Let's check the inner also if it has a padding. Now does that, but I think it's a little bit closer like. And you can now select everything now. You add another layout and select it now to make it responsive. Don't forget that that was what we did before. View. Let's save this one. View. And the main concept also to view. Then this one view. It's on the middle of view. Everything is fine. So let's check now. Okay, so we need to select that frame 15 carrying both also to fill. Is this frame 15 carrying both? And I'll just do it out. So to fill container. So if you go back to your frame 15 and check this, you also get responsive. So this is what we actually want for this to be closed. And then we can now give space for this now and this one now. So we can now say, but these two has been taken as one. So we only have this space. So we can just say maybe this one should be 45 and also so we have something like so just add make it a component and that frame 16. Let's quickly rename it to where next content and make it to be a component. So we have that. So let's quickly put this I don't want this sure. So there's a image that we have here. I don't know why it's showing this. So we go through that image, then we trying to make it faster. So then we also this here. So that image will stay on a circle of 40 parts. To do now, what we're going to do, we make use of the ellipse. Make use of the ellipse and set that size to stay at okay, let's make this set to be 400 by 400. So you just click on your letter O on your keyboard for ellipse to set it to 400 by 400. Because actually it takes a 400 by 400, which is fine. It makes this kids in on of E in the yellow and on the right. Make it here, close it. And the next thing we need to do is to remove opacity a little. I want the main yellow color. That's fine. Opacity make opacity to be like something like so that. And the next thing to select this circle, right click on it and do what we call the frame selection. We'll talk about this one also. How to add a frame on a text or on a shape. So just make a frame selection. So a frame is added on the circle. So that's just why enlarge this shape over here. This shape over here. So that we have this inside. So from circle we have created a frame on it instead of starting from the beginning to create a circle. We need to do the constraint of this circle. So select the circle again Don't forget I will talk about constraint. So go to this side and make it to the center, which is the left. Make the top also to be center, which is the vertical. This center talk about right and left. This one talk about top and bottom, the vertical. So also make it to the center. Reason so that everything we want anywhere we move the shape to, I mean the frame to, we want the circle to also move to there wherever we're doing that. Then the next thing for we to do now is that we need to add an image on this circle by on that frame. Just right click on it and go to plugin, go to our splash, and we're going to look for any construction image, or because the website deals with construction. So let me check this. Come on. Right. So so just search for constructor. Mr. Checks online. Maybe he has maybe it's this way or something.
No, I'm online.
So you know this. Okay. Alright,
I'm online. Yes.
I'm only saying.
I was carried away.
Okay, I won't. Okay, sorry, sir. I'm only saying Miss Sharon on the. Alright, so just construction. Or just let's say engineer. Let's say engineer, because actually we want human beings. Let's just say engineer or constructor engineer, anyone. So it's coming up. So once that's so we have it. So just look for, because actually, we are trying to replicate that and we only have only one person here. There's only one person there. So once I want to can't take it to a group of people. Just search for only one person also. That is almost closer to what we have here. So there's one particular one, but I've done this before. I use one particular guy. I think I saw it now. Okay, this guy, but there's one particular place where, okay, we can go with this. We can go with this one. Let's check. Let's check if we have. You can go with this. I just want us to do exactly something like what we are having here. So this image, when it's finished loading, to stay on this. So as you can see, we have that. So you can drag it and close this one back. Okay, do you know what I would do? This is what I would do. Then let me bring the image directly on it. So I'll just, the image stays directly on it because I selected this. So let me just do that randomly. So I can adjust the image by myself before putting it on this frame. So let's go back to Flash again. So we quickly just search for that guy again. So I'll just quickly go to where you can quickly see him. I'll scroll down to quickly check. So can even use this. This is almost like what we have this. But facing this side, I think you can use this also. Okay, so Alright, so I have this is just where I was. I can just set this by myself, so I can make it smaller. So now because of this class, I told us then between the scale 2 and more. To use my scale 2 now, what I want to do, to use your scale 2 will say help you to maintain the size of an element or of the shape or an image. But if you use only move 2, if I use move 2 now to scale this, it distorts this image. It will not look fine. For example, now if I put this, you see that it's not looking fine. As in, you see the size, the width is 5120, this and that. But if I use my scale 2, I'll just go to this scale. So you just type X, this is scale 2. I mean K, short form is scale. I'll use my scale 2 now to resize it. If you maintain the size, it's getting smaller, but it's mainly the exact what we call it. I have this over split over there. I can use my escape key to take it out to move to and bring it from here. What I want to do now, I want this image to only, if I put the image now on this frame, you can see that it's not staying inside the frame. So I want that frame now to always, let me just turn that. So I want the image to always at the center, like what we did for that circle. So I'll just set center, center. So anyway, I move my phone to also be moving the text. So let us still reduce that size of that image. So you go back to your scale tool and press K on your keyboard. Image is still resizing it to this. Well, actually, what we should have done is that we should have removed this background over here. And to do that, there's a particular step of that. If that we like take some of the think about this. Let's go through that. So to remove this part, that what we are trying to, and that there's no back this man over it. So you can use what we call the remove background. There's a one side of called remove background to do that. So you just take like click and page and go to your plugins, go to meet plugins. So to manage plugins, for remove background. That is remove PG. I should have even installed that folder slash PG. Search for that. So this is this folder. So you can just select anyone. Select anyone. Let me just load this. So when that is done, you click on your run to install it. Click on your run to install it. You set API. So before when on show this, you need to start API to before that. You select this. So what you need to do now is to go back and select the image. So we need to go to close this. It takes time. I've made that mistake actually. Also, all these steps. But it's a long, this will be a long process. So select the image and right click on it. Go to plugins and go to manage plugin. Let's go to that remove background again. Remove picture, which is over there. And you click on run in that via. Oh, this is not what we want. This is Let me see if I can gain this one manually. Sorry for taking out. Let me just go to maybe later on I'll send us how to do after that. Sorry for background. It's helpful. Like you can teach online instead of installing it on your figure file. Maybe I'll just use to take useful accessories that and then online now to do that. To actually use this site to remove any background that I believe that most already know already coming up. So maybe we'll just use this section. So when everything is done, we'll go back to it. I think it's coming up. Okay, so let's go back to, let's come back to this. Come back to that. So we just need this section like this. Let's turn that back like this. Us pass over it. So all we need to do is to, so all we need to do, select the rectangular shape, set the rectangular shape, and just put something like this. Or instead of going through that process of making it a frame selection, that so we just go to frame at once. You have something like that frame that you still remain to the image without something like that. So that. And this is the kind of color that's yellow also because what they are trying to do. Or you cannot be coming here to select any yellow that you have already. Just click on anyone. Finish is too thick. So I can reduce the thing. But I don't want to start. I want it to be exactly like this. So I can select this. I think I have this. Then it gives your factory. Alright, so I have that. Then on this one, I can bring my image to stay on it. Just go to your slash, go to plugins, then go for slash, and search for the construction site. Alright, so you have the construction site over here. So just search for what just like what we have. I also click select anything because of anything. Let me just select this. So I have that also. So, okay. Okay, once again, pardon me for that. The image also should be outside. The image should be outside. Sorry for that. Go to Splash. Then you have construction site. So we have this over here. This side I can reduce size. So skills you to do that. Yeah, right. I'm trying to see if this one will. Okay, I think what we should do is this is not to show. Make. Let me delete this. Let me just delete this. I'll make another frame. What I'm going to do is this. You can bring this to stay on that here. Just reduce. Just make it like this. Always use the skip to don't forget. So you have something like this. Then and now go back. Let's go back now. And let's make it be of the same size. And check this first. And check the size first. The size is let's check that in size. Okay, so we have the size to be 2 by 476, 424 by 476. I'm just on there. Do this 424 by 476, 476. You can just place it on it. So we're done with that. Give me a color of that yellow and reduce your opacity to make it fit. So we have something like this. If I move that frame, that circle will not go, that rectangle will not go with this picture. Okay, it's going with this, so that constraint to the frame, which is what we want. And the next thing for us to do now is to create that other image, without on any transparent background. So just select your normal image. Just a construction work. Construction work. And go with anyone that's we just go with the skip. You can skip this. Just skip somewhere. Let's be inside. Let's outside of. Let's create it somewhere. So just like what we have over. So the next thing to do, let's quickly create that space that we have here. I just quickly go that. We do that because of the time. We have about floors group. We have oh, sorry, I'm trying to check in. So we are construction worker. I don't know why it's bringing this. Let me make this. Yes, so we have there. So we are something in construction. That's what we have there. Let me just refresh this. So that will be the last we are going to solve for this. Okay, we are the leader in construction. Construction. Let's go back to nine and just click on your T. And we have about flux group, about flux group. Trying to make it so that we see it. Yeah, about flux group. So you give this one the size of it, size of it, and then what? Okay, then you make it to be an auto yes, initiative. Then what else? So let's set the test once again and make it to be regular. So I think medium is better. So we are going to zero also just to close everything up. Or still leave it as is because we are going to use that pencil or just copy what we have there. And that line will be above that name, above this name, not close to zero S. So we have that. So this does bring it now to, sorry, it's really to vector mode. I don't want vector mode. So it does now bring it inside the about plus group frame, to layout frame that we created for it. Screen inside. So let's select that again. We don't bring it inside. Direction property. So we set that to vertical. So I can stay up. So I have created that. The next thing to do is that actually. So here we are leader in construction. So let's click button. So let me go back to stay horizontal. I will just create that text that says the leader in construction. Give that size because that size is not the same like what we have in that same about us. I'll give that size is 4. I'll make it 4. Sorry, 64. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I also add an auto layout on it. But for that, I'll make it bold. So I can just keep to bring it down just like what we have here. I can just bring it to bring it down, or we usually are doing our resizing. We can just do that. Let me see that. So I'll do the auto layout on it. Click on in to break it down to enter the next line. I can still leave it like this, like so. So I'll give this a white background. The auto layout I just added now. White background. And I'll set the content to only at the left. And the main thing I'll give that to the free container. So I have that. If I select the frame 19 now, I'm taking this responsive. So I can stop from here. Like I said, this is what I wanted to do before, but I've put my responsibilities to do that. Also rename that if you want. Let's quickly do that. Say the leader. And the next thing to do is also create that copy this. Copy this that we have here. This is here. So that test you said this only test to 14. 14 is fine. I'm talking about this test that we have here. This one is right. So we create an auto layout on that one also. So when that has to also be regular, make it a regular, which is a test, which is fine and regular. Then we say the auto layout, select back that auto layout, set the content to stay at the left. So once at the left, then the padding to the 16, which is at every side. 16. Then what else? The hue to the white. Let's check if it is responsive now. Then so select the pen tool again, so I have a kind of line over here. But I think we just leave that. I think we are okay with it. So let's check the responsiveness. Select this and make it free container. We have this option. So what I want us to do before, but we don't have this here. Just to put a line bracket. So just leave it this way. Since we don't have any line. So it's everything that we have here now, we just like the way we normally do, we just take everything now and add all the house, another two layers on it. So we can make it be a component. So just do shift A and can add a few color of white. You can take if it will be responsive. So two are not responsive. So this one is not responsive. Set it to free container. So this left. And set this to also free container. No, now let's check if it is responsive now. So this one is not responsive. So I now have the screen size of the system like this, but let us just make it also responsive by selecting the test and make it a free container. So we select back the frame sensor. You see that concept. So we have this right. So let's now make this to be a component by also going back to the base. Make it components. So let's start making most of all our design are a component. So let's make a component, this is something, a component, let's make it and select it. let's take this image also. Let's make this image also is component. This one. And this one, should I make this a complete like this? Just to see how the design looks like. But let me check if this, I don't know, this one is coming. Let me check on my system. So I have the, I'm not sure how many, okay. But let me check. Let me just upload the, I'll upload an image that has a background. Oh, so let me go to, let me take this thing over here. And let's click on open. Sorry, is coming up. So I read that FCC will not time me off because of the space we have. I need to remove that background coming up. Just do this and we just use this image. Maybe later on I will do that video on how to use the remove background on our Figma part. But when you are setting it up, it takes depending to like maybe like 4 to 5 minutes. It's all of my system somehow is being sometimes. So just for you to get the API, when you get the API, once you get the API, then anytime you want to use the mobile account, you don't need to go back get anything. Just use one to use for that image you want to use. And you want to set, once you remove the pattern. Therefore, so this one is just the online one. So it's taking time. The best of the battle. So we have this. So I think I'm not going to use this as a component like that. But when you are doing your own, just try to remove the background that you have. And try this when you are done with this class. You can remove any background uh, on any image. I'll just take of this class, give this a component, make it a component. So I can quickly do all we want to do. Let's set all this now on the frame, as in on the relay frame. So we'll just come here now, bring this down. I click another page for it. Just and go to select my frame. So go to, don't drag anything, you just go to desktop. Let's have the desktop. Then this, I'll go to my layout grid. So once I try to lay everything out, what we have been doing so far. Go to my style library, go to laptop grid. So I have this over. So what I'm going to do is that I'll go to my asset here, go to my assets. And before that, you notice that we're having kind of blue background and image on that on this particular section. On that design we have followed. So I will just come over here now, create another frame and give it the same size of what I have here, same size of what Sigma can help us to do that. So we have this. So on this now I can select that's my image to be on it. I just go to Unsplash, click over here, so let us begin download that or something something. Let us begin. Okay, let's use this one. And that's what was that was what was used exactly. Excuse me. All this little network problem, this and that, got starting to our time. I'll make another frame again of a rectangular shape and give it the color of blue and now reduce the opacity. So reduce the opacity so that okay. Okay. So we have this over here. So once again, like I said, I will make another I'll make another frame. I can just check the size there. 1278 117. I'll make another frame of 128. I think 128. Sorry, let me check that. 1728. Okay. 1728. I'll just come there. 1728 and 1117. I think I can set it to stay properly. So I have this. So on this now, you just give it that color of blue. Let's go to our color library. Select that blue. Then reduce the opacity a little. So we can let's try to let's detach it and give it I can get our opacity and let's make it 50. I think 50 is okay. Then we can now go back to our this is our asset now. Then try to locate the page you are working on. So the page is landing page. So click on that. The first thing we have is that our header. So drag it, bring it here. So just like I said the other time that I need to bring that what's it called, that yellow to be at the center. I'll still do that. Set this here, set this over here. Yes, over here. And set the padding for to the left and to the right. So we can set it to, I think they use 120. We have number we think as own link and remove that white background. Yeah. Sorry, sorry for that. The FCC terminated. Hello, Miss Sharon.
Okay, there is no problem. I'm with you.
Alright, sorry for
No problem.
that. Just terminated. I was also thinking about that. I believe you're able to catch up with this site. Hello?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Alright, so what I did is that I just reduced this size downward. Yeah, I can hear you, I can hear you. But then what I just did is that we're able to catch up with this size before it's terminated. Right?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Alright, so maybe I share with you not later.
Okay, no problem.
I just re- re- increase the height downward. So I can place my other components while maybe like use your skate
Okay.
to drag it.
Okay.
So maybe okay, let's leave it like this. Then let's check over next. Okay, we have this image over here. You can drag this out also. This is somewhere here. This also can occupy this amount of. I'll use my split tool again. Always use a split to size. So I'm also be cut off. I have this space somewhere here. So let's expand this a little bit. Then the next one is to have this that's about flux on over here. Just drag it. Let's split somewhere here too. So again I'll use my skate tool. We can't see that white color now because the layout grid is already on the white background. That's why it looks as if you can't see this white color showing here. This layout grid. This is your
Okay.
skate tool again to also bring this space somewhere like this. So we have this. Then we can now be able to view what we have now. By going through, let me expand this a bit. So we'll just go through the, so you can just select this. When you select this now, I said something, can you remember what I said about this image? So I will know that the class is really, and someone is following what's all that is doing.
So this part that you said we're going to align it to the center.
No, I said something about this image. I just want to know if you can still
No,
remember what I said about this image.
maybe I didn't really guess because my
Hello?
network was unstable as at that time. Hello?
Okay, I was saying that this image, I mean, I can hear. I said this image should also be like should also remove this background of this image. You can remember. And I said I'm
Oh,
going to make
okay,
use of
okay,
it
yes.
like that because it's already taking time. Do you remember now?
Fine. Yes, yes, I remember.
So that's why we are. That's why you can see it like this. Actually, this is not a best. This is not a good design for this image to remain like this. I'm talking about this section. So when we are trying to do that, it's taking time, it's taking a lot of time. That's why I said we just use it like that for this lesson purpose. When you are doing your own, you
Mm.
can just remove the image. Go to remove
Move the
background.
background.
Yes,
Okay.
because you remove MPG. So I have this. So to view it now, just select the MacBook Pro. I want to view how it looks like now. And click on this play section over here. So it may take time, but that was what happened when we watched the video that we did last on the dashboard. This time before this comes up, just because of the system. That's why they are using the system. Your system should be high when you want to do your design of shipment. Let's try that. Just click on my play now. We want to try to see how the design looks like. So everything that you have been doing so far from the beginning is on that ebook. Everything we are talking about is on that.
Okay.
I just go through, yes. And like I said, the book really brought that money down. I really brought it down to that amount. Because I know what's happening in the country. Everyone too. On Amazon, the book is 7 plus.
7.5.
So this is still coming up. So far, what have you learned? I mean, what have you? I saw your assignment also that Mr. Sheikh also. The other group has been giving me excuses. Like I said, that some of them always send a private chat. So like someone said, his phone is one of the group leader. Said his phone is faulty. Yes. He just went to take that to repair this and that. So your group did well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I also saw your input also. I saw the one that you also.
Yes. It really gave me problem using Chrome, so I have to download Opera Mini to work on it. Alright.
Alright, so it's still coming up. Like I said, it may take
It will take time to load.